I'm Krista Togans, and this is Dwayne Collier, a photography student who is in his last semester of classes and will graduate in a few weeks. I wanted to ask Dwayne some questions and to find out about how he how his program has progressed in school. So why did you decide to study photography?
I decided to study photography because I had an interest in it as a child when I first got here to Harrisburg, but I never really pursued it. And so later on I decided to go for it.
Okay. Could you tell me a little bit about the classes you're taking right now?
Currently the class I'm taking is digital photography, which is a mixture of different things that incorporates photography in the digital realm. We're taking images with digital cameras, we're uploading them into computers, manipulating and tweaking in software, output on monitors, and we're scanning and anything that has to do with digital. Talking about digital portfolios and the business aspect of it. So it's photography, but digital. We're even in the studio, but we're doing it, with a digital camera and thinking in a digital way, and not no film.
Okay. I want to talk a little bit about how your experience in school has been scaffolded. What was your toughest class?
My toughest class was Color 1.
Why was it the toughest class?
Because I had a lot of difficulty transferring from black and white to color. Meaning that with color, I started thinking about a lot of different things, from the composition to the lights and the shadows to, the three image rule, to all kinds of things, and then on top of that, trying to think of color. So I got overwhelmed and thought about it too much, and so it made it difficult for me to think of or to try to capture an image, because I was so busy thinking about color and how to incorporate that into everything else, because I had learned a lot of things prior to in other classes where there was things in art and two-dimensional, where with complementary colors and all that stuff. So I was thinking about all those different things, and it just kind of created kind of a mental block for me.
So would you say that the classes that you took up into color, up until you reached your Color 1 class, gave you the fundamentals and a platform and a foundation, which will be scaffolding, so that you will be able to now transfer your knowledge to Color 1?
Yeah, it definitely did. There was just so much information that for me personally, that it caused me to have, like I said, a mental block. But I was able to basically get past it by just almost letting it go and just accepted it for what it was, and then kind of just focus in on the basic, and that was what I learned in black and white, and that was looking at the color, or looking at the shadows and looking at the light.
Do you have an example that you could show from black and white, and then your transition into the Color 1?
Well, here's an example of an image that was taken in black and white, where, as you can see, it just basically, it's all about the way the light and the shadows are shown on the objects, or the surface of everything. And this is actually kind of a stairway, and here is an image in Color 2 where the light and the shadows are the most important aspect of the shot, and not really the color at all, even though the color is very muted, so you can barely see it, but the light and the shadows is the most important aspect of it, and that's where I was able to finally get an image, because that's what I focused on.
So what was the thing that you had to let go in color 1, which led into color 2? What was that thing that you had to let go that was making it so difficult in color 1 from the transition of black and white to color 1?
I had to let go of the fact of trying to think about everything that I had basically learned, and not focus on it all, and just shoot, and look for 1 or 2 elements, the light or the shadows, and then let everything kind of work itself out.
And the light and the shadows was what you did learn in black and white 1 and 2.
Right.
Okay. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is how all of those things led to an even bigger form of photography, which was your studio class. So could you show the how all of those lights and shadows and different techniques that you learned led up to your studio photo?
Well, in this photo that I took in studio class is considered to be a formal portrait, and this is a narrow light scheme, which is actually 4 lights set up, and everything that I learned in black and white and in color and 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional, it all comes together, because you have to take into consideration of everything, all aspects of the shadows and the lights, how those give dimension, and substance, to the image, placement, of the model in the image, so that you stay within it and not, fall off the page, and the color, how I matched kind of the tone of her skin with the matting, giving it that kind of earthy, so that it complemented each other, so everything that I've learned, can be seen in just this one image.
And so would you say that all of the classes that you took and everything that you learned was authenticated by all of the practice and all of the projects and the things that you had to do once you learned what you learned in class?
Yes.
Yes. And how, I want to finish by talking about the class that you're in now. How did that also lead up to the scaffolding and the things that you learned visually, and how that all incorporated made everything authentic to this point, to where you're actually about to graduate?
Well, actually, because of everything that I've taken, with this class that I'm taking now, it's almost like a review, so because I have taken all those classes, previous with studio and color and even digital, I've had some aspects of digital and color too, so it kind of gives me kind of an edge on, say, other students who may not have taken those classes, so they have to work extra hard to keep up with it, where I don't have to, because I've already been through it and I already kind of know it, so that's how it helps me get through, this, my final class. And the only reason why I'm taking it is because it's part of the new curriculum, and I have to take it in order to graduate, so.
Well, Dwayne, I appreciate all of your experience and all of your answers in this interview, and good luck in the future, and I hope you have a very, very happy career in photography.
Thank you.